Trucks that may challenge the Toyota Tacoma for the number one spot. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. And yeah, I was thinking, what trucks are there out there that may actually challenge the Toyota Tacoma for the number one spot? Toyota with the Tacoma has been number one for years, but there are a lot more entries into the market these days than there used to be. I remember when everybody stopped making trucks, except for Toyota. And then once the market came back and they became very popular, all of a sudden we have all these new entries. So is it possible that one of these trucks, or maybe two, could even steal the number one spot from the Toyota Tacoma? First of all, let's talk about the Jeep Gladiator. Of course, I have a Jeep Gladiator and I think it is an awesome truck. And there are a lot of areas that the Gladiator is just a little bit better than the Tacoma, I think. It's quicker, it's more comfortable, it's maybe a hair more capable. I mean, it is a Jeep after all. And I think it is a legitimate challenger to the Toyota Tacoma. But there's two things that hold it back, I think. One is its looks. It's a little bit different. I find a lot of people either love it or they hate it. There's really no in between. It's not your typical truck style like many of the others are. The other, of course, is the perception of reliability. Now, I use the word perception. Is it really a perception, or does the Jeep Gladiator have a reliability problem? Time will tell. I think for the Jeep to make a serious run at number one with the Gladiator, it has to be reliable, because after all, that's what the Toyota Tacoma is known for. The second is the Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick? I remember when the Ford Maverick was this junker little two-door, maybe it was a four-door car. My family had one when I was a little kid. That thing ran half the time, but then Ford decided to rebrand it, if you will, and turn it into a truck, the Ford Maverick. Now, surprisingly, it's doing quite well, so well that Ford has actually suspended orders on the truck because they can't keep up. That doesn't bode well for the Tacoma, and I think being a smaller truck, a micro type truck, although I think it's on the bigger side, it is more appealing to a lot of people because it fits everywhere. And people can use them as weekend warriors, their daily driver, or to go haul some stuff, throw it in the back, just for light jobs and things like that. A truck more designed as a city truck, I think. And I think the city trucks are really becoming pretty popular right now. So there's a chance that maybe the Ford Maverick could actually take over number one. Time will tell. Next up, we have the Nissan Frontier. The Nissan Frontier is kind of a strange thing for me. There was all this hype when it was announced that Nissan was going to redesign, remodel the Frontier. Everybody was interested in it. There was a lot of talk that it was going to be the next Toyota Tacoma. Of course, a lot of people say it looks like the Toyota Tacoma, and I can't argue that. It really does. But the strange thing that I find about it is now that it's out and it's available, you don't hear anything about it anymore. Where did it go? Is it having problems? I haven't heard of any. Is it not all that it was rumored to be? Possibly. Is it because Nissan has kind of cut the advertising on it? That's what I think. I can't tell you the last time I saw a commercial on the Nissan Frontier. And if they're not jamming it in our faces all the time, we forget about them. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not exactly sure. If you've driven a Frontier, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. I'd be curious. I still haven't gone out and tested one myself yet. Next up, the Ranger. Now, it's a Ford, and I've heard they have their problems as far as reliability goes, and I think that's why we still see the Tacoma as number one. The Ranger, it's just not all that, I don't think. I mean, it's a capable enough truck. It does what it needs to do, but can you depend on it all the time? I don't think so. I heard recently from someone that they were having all kinds of troubles with their Ford Ranger. I even had posted a video recently about a fella I had met at a gas station who told me he would rather have a Toyota Tacoma. He was driving a Ford Ranger. He just wasn't happy with it. Now, what happens when Toyota goes to the 4-cylinder turbo or twin turbo? That, I think, is Ford's opportunity to try to seize the #1 spot. You know, Ford has been running the Turbo 4 for quite a while in the Ranger. However, there is rumor that Ford is going to go to a V6 and possibly even a V8 in the Ford Ranger. Man, could you imagine a Ford Ranger, a truck this size with a V8 in it? That would be awesome. And if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Ford. I can't see Toyota doing that with the Toyota Tacoma, particularly since they're already talking about a 4-cylinder. There's no way they're going to throw an 8 into their Tacoma. I just don't see it. So that might be Ford's opportunity to kind of seize that #1 spot. Lastly, #5, the Rivian. Now, personally, I love this truck so far from what I've seen. It is an all-electric truck. Now, when I mention it taking over the #1 spot from Toyota as far as the Tacoma goes, of course it's not going to do that with the naturally aspirated gas-sucking engine that we currently have. However, Toyota is rumored to be coming out with an all-electric truck, which looks pretty slick, by the way. So there is going to be a bit of a little battle there, I think, once Toyota finally comes to market with their electric version. Of course, the Rivian is already out, and it's not cheap. I mean, we're talking somewhere in the, I think it's $60,000 to $80,000 or even $90,000 range, depending on what configuration you go with. But it's going to be interesting to see, one, what Toyota does with their electric Tacoma. I can't imagine it's going to be cheap. I think it's probably going to be somewhere in the maybe $50,000 range is my guess. It's not going to be the $60,000 to $80,000 price tag that the Rivian is, but it's still going to be relatively expensive. And I think that will be an opportunity for others like the Rivian to grab some of that market share from the Toyota Tacoma. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here. I've been thinking about this because there are so many entries in the market right now. Is it possible that one of these trucks may challenge the Toyota Tacoma for the #1 spot? It's going to be very interesting to see. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Are one of these trucks the next #1 midsize? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive FST, all about full-size trucks. And RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.